Welcome, Anca. We're delighted to be sitting down with you to hear a little bit about your journey to becoming a chartered accountant.
Oh, great. It's great. Thank you for the opportunity. It's been a long journey. I started actually originally in South Africa and wanted originally to be in sports because I loved sports. So I started studying sports science and converted to a commerce degree and then doing a BCom honours in financial management. So that's my journey, and then actually I went overseas to the UK, United States, on a working holiday visa, and there my paths crossed with an auditor, and I was with a non-profit organisation, and it was so many enthusiasm that he had that it was so inspiring that I wanted to become a chartered accountant. Wow. So then I had to go the whole route of going back to school and then studying part-time and working. The first year I studied full-time, basically had to convert. So you don't get a degree, that's the hard part, you don't get a degree because you're studying, and then ultimately to get access to honours, if I can say it that way. And then I did my honours when I was at Deloitte and then got qualified basically. So it's been quite a huge path. I think it took 10 years to actually get to a stage where I'm a CA.
Incredible. And must have been quite challenging to say, after you've already got your degree and you've already studied and you've already started your career, to decide you want to go back to study. It must have been tough. How did you cope with that?
I mean, I think you need to get inspiration from yourself and you need to believe in yourself. I mean, there's so many people that follow the path and do not succeed because it's such a difficult path to follow, especially if you're part-time. The exams, the studies, to juggle it, and I mean, the workload is extremely challenging. I mean, you sometimes work 14 hours and you have to go back and study your 2 or 3 hours a day. I used to study Saturdays. I was really fully committed to it. And then secondly, I had a husband that was very supportive. I mean, he really understood my dream and was willing to help me. And then I think thirdly, it is a journey that God chooses you, and then you need to follow in his steps and then guide in it. So it's been an inspiration. You have to really, really draw deep to get to going, even if someone says, but you failed. I must say I didn't succeed initially. So with the chartered accountant, when you do the honours, you have to pass all the subjects in 1 year. And I actually didn't make it the first year. I actually failed one subject, which was very challenging because never in my life have I failed in something, and that was what happened. So what I then did is I had to draw very, very deep, and I remember some of the people that were my mentors saying, but are you really going to make it? You know, they had doubt. And I had to sit down and say, well, I'm going to make it, and I've never failed. And into the second year, it was actually such a breeze. And then, I don't know if you know, but you do the honours and then you do your board 1 and 2. That's what they called it when we wrote it. And I actually passed both of them in 1 year. So within, in about a 12-month period, I was a CA after I've got my qualification. So it was quite inspiration and intense. And then it was quite easy when I wrote the exams. I thought, well, how could it be so difficult the first time? So yeah, but I think it's experience, and I mean, a lot of the things that the work that you and experience you gain, the work that initially helps you to pass the exam and to get the experience to actually go over that hurdle.
Absolutely beautiful. So would you say that in terms of the values of the profession of accounting, it has a lot to do with the hard work that you put in?
Yes, I think definitely. It's hard work, it's dedication, it is inspiration, believing in yourself, and then of course having a support structure to assist you through the road that makes it a success.
Okay. It's a lovely story of the fact that you don't need to necessarily follow the everyday path. You can find your own path and you can still become a chartered accountant. What do you love about this profession?
Oh, I do a wide range of things. From the auditing side, I loved clients. I liked knowing different sectors, working with different people, gaining experience in different fields, you know. it is there's a different feel if you go into production, a kind of production company where where to a mining company. I mean, it's a different feel, it's a different way of business thought. I love that in the auditing side, but then from the financial side, I also work in that space where I do financial accounts consulting, and I often think of myself, if I can say it lightheartedly, as a financial doctor, in a sense that the auditing and the CA path had given me the confidence to go into a business and say, if you have a financial problem, I can solve it, and I will solve it. And then using all my skills that I've generated over all the years to enable me to fix the problem and then be a solution. So ultimately, it means that I walk away and the place is better, it's fixed, and they can go on. I've put the controls in place, I've helped them in the journey to resolve all the problems, if I can say it that way.
Beautiful.
And then I'm also in the educational side, which is quite exciting. Namibia is moving at a great pace with regards to chartered accountancy. It's a big dream. The dream is that we would have a business school, a school of accounting in Namibia. And then the bigger dream is that people from all over the world will come to our school of excellence to get trained.
Beautiful.
Because, I'm involved in the process. So I'm helping with the accreditation of universities for the chartered accountancy. We've recently developed an accreditation model with the National Council of Higher Education, which is the first, I think, South Africa hasn't even gone that route, where we have a dual accreditation model, which is quite exciting. So soon we're going to roll that out. And then the next thing is to launch an honours of a CA, a chartered accountants, the BCom honours, which is an exciting path, the first also in Namibia. So it's
there's a lot happening in the profession of accounting here in Namibia.
a lot. So it's exciting, and I'm privileged to be part of that also. Mm-hmm. So it's it's been. I'm lucky because there's so many diverse things I can do, and I think, to be honest, the chartered accountancy degree has been the basis. It's given me confidence. It's given me the wings to fly wherever I like. There's no limitations of what you can do in the financial side or sphere, if I can say it that way, if you're having a chartered accountant degree.
Beautiful. So would you say, in terms of the highs of this profession, it is that sense of security that you have in this profession, as well as the learning that you go through?
The highs of the profession, that is, there's many highs. I think the big reward is having an impact. Having an impact on the full economy, if I can say, in all the industries. That is definitely a high. I think from a business perspective, a chartered accountant has an impact. And it's sky's you limit what your impact is. And I think that is the high. There's no limitations of what you can establish, where you can go with regards to that.
Beautiful. And in terms of the challenges, what would they be? The dedication and hard work?
I think the biggest challenge is going through it's such a tough academic course, if I can say it that way. The expectation is very high. It is a lot of dedication. It is actually, you must be prepared not to have a social life, to be honest, unless you're very, very intelligent. Then maybe you're lucky. And I think going through that path, and it's the big jumps you make, the challenge that you overcome, the hurdles you overcome to ultimately get to the stage where you qualify. So I think the qualification is a learning curve. I think that's where a challenge is for most people. And most people, actually, before they pass the last hurdle, they fail, they stop. Okay. So I think that's a part of the challenge. And I think the second part is, if you're in a specific space, there is some limitation in the sense that if you're an auditor, then the challenge is you can only advise, but you cannot correct. If you're in a financial space, you can also advise but not correct, but you are more involved in the correcting actions. I think that is a bit of a challenge in the sense that if you're a perfectionist, you like to complete things, you want things to be better, it can be a challenge that it's not quick enough, you understand? The reward is a little bit dragged out. But ultimately, I think the reward is you learn a network of people, which is high profile. It's nice to know them. You learn a lot from other people. It's like a learning environment, which is stimulating. It's never a dull moment where you sit at your desk and you wish, oh my goodness, what is the next thing? I think also the challenge is from the training contract, you're expected to train other people. So you a little bit have to be challenged to embed the knowledge you have to people lower than you, which is nice, because at least everything you learn, you can teach to people and they can become better and better. So it's quite rewarding.
Beautiful. Yeah. Why do you think then, Anca, the perception is that the profession is it's more on the dull side? You just explained how exciting it is and rewarding it is. Why is there a negative perception?
Well, you do a lot of things that is number crunching. You do a lot of things that is procedure driven. Step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. I think if you don't engage, if you don't get the experience, if you don't get the knowledge of the business, it can become boring.
Okay.
It's like any job.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's exciting things about job. Like, I am very excited where I'm moving, the spaces I'm moving, the projects I'm doing. I'm choosing it. But I remember when I was actually a trainee at Deloitte and a manager there, an audit manager, it was also exciting because there you learn about business, and when you look with a bigger picture, it is exciting. Knowing business, how the business functions, what can you do to make it better. If you're only focusing on the task at hand, it can be tedious.
Okay, but that's the same in life.
It is.
That's how it works in life.
Yeah.
Anca, what would your advice be to somebody? You mentioned earlier that very often becomes the case, there's so much hard work that goes into this profession, especially in the preparation, in the learning part of this profession. What would your advice be to stick it out? If they have got to that place where they feel like I can't anymore, but they don't leave just before they're right there, what would your advice be to them?
I'm actually going to laugh because it's not something that you would probably expect. What I realized when I actually failed is I had the knowledge, but we were unable to put it on paper.
Okay.
So a lot of my experience, what I can say is, and talking to people, you realize it's the case. The knowledge is not the problem. The knowledge is probably embedded. It's the way they transfer it and communicate it. So if I would say, firstly, work on your exam technique. Because most of the things the challenge you have is because you're not able to translate it and to display your knowledge. And then secondly, the volumes of work. Be dedicated, believe in yourself, and stick it out. And I think thirdly, have a network of friends that support you and believe in you, because I think that's where the thing is. As soon as you failed, it's difficult to step up and to say, well, I still believe and I can do it.
Absolutely, but it's important then to have support
Yes.
when you can't. Okay, you're now a business owner. How has being a chartered accountant assisted you as a business owner?
I must say it opened a lot of doors for me. I mean, it's easy to... Actually, all my clients I have is because they know me as a chartered accountant. So they know who I am, I'm precise, they know that I get things done. So it's opened a lot of doors, and I've been really privileged to have high-profile clients that I can assist. You know, I'm fortunate in the sense that I can determine my fees also. So I think that's also why I am popular, if I can say it that way. But it's opened doors in the sense that they understand who I am, they understand I understand the business, the industries. I'm actually operating in all the industries that I've specialized as a trainee accountant and as an audit manager. And then it's exciting to then meet the people and to then start the journey with them. Yes. And then I think what's also fortunate is then often the journey is longer. As an auditor, it is limited in the sense that you have a deadline, which is also, I think, a big challenge. for most people to manage your time, and then it doesn't roll over beyond the deadline. You have a certain frame of that you need to work with a client, but with my engagement with clients, it is until the problem has been resolved. So the satisfaction is you can complete it and you can tick it off and say it's been successfully handed off. We've actually done what we've set out to do in the start. So it's very exciting. I think there's obviously challenges having your own business, finding the right people, working with people, finding good quality people that you're willing to leave with clients and attaching your name to it, which is, I think, a challenge, but it's exciting. It's exciting being in that space where you can operate and make a difference.
Absolutely beautiful. And I'm sure with the skills that you have, if you're advising other businesses as a business doctor, so to speak, those are skills that are very beneficial for your own business as well.
Yes, of course, yes.
Anca, what would you say was the single most important piece of business advice that you ever received?
That is difficult in the sense. Business advice is, I think, to follow your dream. Follow your dream. And I think all things are possible. The impossible is possible. And I think the only limitations, from a chartered accountant side, I think there's no limitations in terms of business. There's no business space that you cannot operate. You have sufficient skills to operate in any business space. But I think it is getting the inspiration to get over that hurdle and knowing that the impossible is possible. That is what my advice would be, the best advice that I've been given.
And it's some really good advice. And is this profession something that you would advise other people to join, the profession of chartered accountancy?
I think it's an excellent profession. I think it is very rewarding. I think often the challenge is the length, but then I think ultimately the sacrifice is worth all the experience that you're getting. So I would advise any person that's involved in business, that's interested in business, that is not necessarily want to do auditing, but auditing also. It's an exciting field. And I think, so I'll definitely advise young school pupils to go this route and to explore it. I think it opens doors. It is a profession that opens doors where you can walk through any door. And I think that is what the challenge is for. If you're sitting with a grade 12, I mean, you look at all the profession, you're thinking, what do I need to do? I mean, come on, there's so many options. And I think if you have a passion for business, if you have a passion for numbers, if you have a passion for people, although people think that auditors don't deal with people, we deal a lot with people, and then this is the right profession for you. And I think it will challenge you, it will stretch you, and you will develop, and you will look back in 10 years' time and think, I can't believe, but I'm a different person. I have grown so much.
Beautiful. That sounds absolutely wonderful. And it leads me to my next question, which is, what is it that you have learned about life through this profession?
Yeah, I think I've given lots of life lessons during our discussions. I think about love, life and possibilities is every person you meet has potential.
That's true.
And if you can become the right person to get them up to a level where they can realize the potential and be the gem that they really are, placing them in the right position, you will have employees, you will have people that are happy. I think the opportunity is there if you're working in this profession to do that, to identify that. You must keep your eyes open. But I realize the frustration looking at people, realizing what they can do, and then knowing that they don't believe it. And then getting them out of that and saying, well, I believe in you. I know you can do better. And sometimes it causes tears and unhappiness. But then if you look back, those serious talks, the talks that's difficult to hear, those are the talks that steps you up and make you that gem, that's valuable gem, that makes you that person.
Absolutely. It's those challenges in life that make us better and make us excel. You've shared such beautiful advice and inspiration when it comes to the profession of accounting and your journey to become a chartered accountant. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us that we may not know about the profession of accounting?
I can't think of anything specifically. I think there is, of course, challenges being in a higher profile. You are not the normal accountant. You're definitely going to step into situations where you don't want to be, like a board meeting where someone puts something on your table and you think, oh my goodness, not that question. But I think it's pretty much what you would expect. The training is so sufficient. They train you, the free training and the hours you do and the competencies that you get actually makes it there's no surprise with regards to what is expected of you. I think that makes it easy in a sense. I think where that would be what I would say is a surprise for the profession or something that's maybe not shared. But I think it's pretty clear cut in a sense. I think it's the most misconception is that it's not fun. I must say auditors that are in a social environment, they're a lot of fun. They look very boring and ties and their professional outfits. But when they relax, they can really, really relax. Actually, I was surprised the first time I was at a social event and I could see that everybody could dance and they could, they had so much fun, and I was very surprised with that. And I think that's a nice surprise to have.
Absolutely. As we're all human beings, we all want to have fun no matter what your profession is.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Yes. Thank you so much for coming to inspire us on the profession of becoming a chartered accountant and what it's like to be a chartered accountant as well as a business owner. It's been very inspirational. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.